Chris Eubank Jr. is back. He takes on Camille Zaramata. We haven't seen Chris Eubank Jr. since I thought he put in a career-best performance against Liam Smith. He's the only man I know that's been called out by everyone from 147 to 168 pounds. Chris, you're back, and it's good to see you back as well. New promotional team, new trainer for this camp as well. On the promotional team, you've chosen boxer. Why?
I'm there thinking, why are you asking this question? This is a press conference for the fight that he's about to have. Because his opponent is such a weak opponent in terms of name value, no one cares about that fight. So therefore, you had to ask this question here. Well, you didn't have to ask this question here, to be fair to you. You could have been like, your opponent, Camille Zaramata, suffered back-to-back losses against Gennady Golovkin and Jaime Munguia. Why does he suffer the same fate against you, Chris Eubanks Jr., seeing that he's coming off of a 6-fight unbeaten run with 4 wins and 2 draws in that time space? You could have asked him that, my G. What to you? You could have asked a separate question. You're going on like you're one of these YouTube channels asking these dumb questions or these loaded questions. This was a loaded question. And because it's a loaded question and it's Eubanks Jr., we know that more than likely some mess is going to happen. And I'm like, why you ask that question? I was shortly about to find out why.
Why boxer? Because every other promoter out here is a scumbag. That's why. You know, you've got Frank Warren behind me, been lying and cheating his way through boxing for the last couple decades. Sued me for a couple $100,000 a few years ago, so obviously I was never going to go with him. The guy's a scumbag. Calais Howland, you know, had me locked up in a terrible contract for the last few years, squeezing money out of me at every opportunity. Scumbag. Eddie Hearn, Frank Smith, they did everything they could to try and make this fight against Conor Benn still go ahead. Still go ahead.
Why don't you fight Hamza Sharad, scumbag?
After knowing.
Look at this old Croft, 72-year-old Frank Warren letting this child to him. This boy could be your grandchild. You're letting your grandchild rattle you, bruv. You're letting this little boy make you get all up in your feelings and react and say some stuff. Why are you saying anything? You're a promoter. You're kind of like you're his opponent. You know, like when 2 opponents are at the press conference and one says something that the other one doesn't like, and then he reacts, and then they start cutting off each other in the press conference, not letting each other speak. That's what Frank's doing right now. Big man, you're a big old crap. You know what? You need to leave this thing alone, you know. You're getting too worked up about this thing. This thing is going to do you some damage. This thing is going to hurt you somehow. You need to leave it alone, give it to your picnic them, and go and sit down like what Eddie Hearn's dad done. Yeah? Give your son the reins and go and sit down and chill. Get a pipe, get your slippers, and chill out with your wife at home, bruv. Leave this thing alone, stuff. Leave this thing alone. You're an idiot. You're an idiot for reacting to this guy. Are you an idiot, bruv? You make all the high-pitched voice come out of me, bruv. You're supposed to... You make all the bass leave my voice, bruv. What's wrong with you, bruv? With your stupidness, big man. You're a big man, bruv. Act like a big man. Cha. Look at Eddie and the rest of them, man. They're just chilling, not saying nothing. Why do you have to be the one that has to big up him out and say something?
That they, that he was on steroids. Scumbags, you know. I would say the only promoter that I know for sure isn't a scumbag is His Excellency, Turki Al-Sheikh. This is a man who isn't trying to take money from fighters. He isn't trying to use lawyers and accountants to lock fighters up in slave contracts. He's a man of God. He's a man of religion. That's what's most important to the people of Saudi Arabia. He just wants to put the biggest fights on, the best events on, and pay fighters what they're worth.
Why am I not surprised that this Donny is kissing up to the Sheikh? Kissing anything with the Sheikh wanting for kiss. Kiss the foot, kiss the hand, kiss the ring, and whatever else the Donny want you for kiss. If the Sheikh say you for kissy, you for kissy. Sucking up to the money, man. Pay what you're worth. Rude boy, you're only worth what you can generate. All you want to do is get overpaid. I get it, but bruv, you get on my nerves with these statements that you come out with, bro, because you don't fight nobody that people want to see you fight. Fact.
And as a fighter,
look at how rattled Frank is, my guy. This was... Frank is so rattled. This was giving me so much joke when I was watching it. This was like Comedy Central. What is wrong with you, Frank? Relax, my guy. You're gonna burst a vessel, my G.
You know, it's a blessing to be a fighter at this moment of time because this is the first time we've ever had a promoter like this in the history of boxing. Oh, and you know, Ben Shalom's a very cool guy too.
Oh, I can't go and bite the hand that feeds me. I've got to remember where my bread is buttered. Yo, Junior, you are hilarious.
Welcome back, Chris. Harmony in the room, as expected. On your opponent choice, Chris, Kamil Zaramata, I mentioned at the top, you've had fighters from 147 to 168 to call you out, right? Some big names. Why Kamil?
So you ask a loaded question, then you try smooth over the answer with a little wisecrack. And then after that, you try lickle man his opponent. You could have asked a better question than that about the opponent.
Because I've been off a year and this is a solid opponent, 25-2. He's only lost to 2 world champions. It's the perfect fight for me to get back into the ring after a year layoff, build a relationship with Saudi, get out there, get the ring rust off, and then go and knock off all these big names and world titles over the next 12 months.
Kamil, I'll come to you. We all saw Chris against Liam Smith in his first fight have some troubles. Have you taken any comfort from that, knowing that he can be hurt? We saw him get knocked down and knocked out. Have you taken any comfort from that?
I didn't get knocked out. I was on my feet and the fight got stopped by the referee. Get your facts straight, please.
Donnie is not on MC is not on his A game today. Yo, Chris was offended, bro. Man said I get knocked out. Man try to say I got knocked out. Rubai, do you want to know what a knockout feels like? I can come and knock you out right now. Are you dumb, bruv? Get your facts right before you come on stage and chat my name. You understand? That gave me joke. Yo.
Apologies, he's on his feet and the fight got stopped by the referee.
So, yeah, what Kamil Zaramata said to that in response doesn't really matter. These little sequence of clips and these sound bites was what I wanted to bring to light because I was watching this press conference and I was just busting up, rolling, busting up. My girl's looking at me like, what's wrong with you? I'm just busting up, rolling around. Bare joke. My daughter coming looking at me like, what's wrong with this man? Yo, this was hilarious. Yo, so Chris Eubanks Jr. versus Kamil Zaramata. It's a decent little fight still. Let's get it straight here. Zaramata is a live dog in this fight. He is a live animal in this fight. And I expect it to be some issues. They are fighting in the middleweight division. I can see there's an IBO middleweight title at hand here. IBO is just any old title. Really, as I said before, the IBO title is not a sought after a title, but I'm sure they just wanted to attach something to this fight to give it a little bit more prestige than it has. And I'm looking forward to it, to be fair. I want to see how Chris does against Zaramata. The middleweight division is wide open. Chris calls himself next gen, but he's getting on now. He's like 34, 35. So he should actually be retiring soon. He's actually 36. So he should actually be coming to the end of his tenure in the boxing field. So we'll see what he's got left going into this fight. I don't know what he's trying to do in the sport right now. To be fair, 36 and them type of ages is when you're coming to retirement. So is he going to go for a title run? With the middleweight division, the kind of the weakest it's ever been, really. You've got Carlos Adames as the WBC champion. Hamza Shiraz is his #1 contender. Then you've got Erislan De Lara, the WBA champion, with Shane Mosley Jr. as his contender. And then you've got Yanibek Anim-Kanulai with the WBO and the IBF belt. Hamza Shiraz is also his #1 contender. Denzel Bentley, who took him 12 rounds, who I think should have beat him, to be fair. You could have beaten him, but I don't think Denzel had that belief to just push that little extra to get over the line to get the win in that fight. But he done very well against Yanibek and humbled him a bit with that performance. And that's the WBO belt. The IBF doesn't have a ranking until the 3rd place. Andrei Mikhailovich, who I know and heard of, but I haven't seen much of him. So, in all fairness, it's kind of wide open. Chris Eubanks Jr. is 3rd in the WBC. He's 5th in the IBF. And he's 7th in the WBA. And he's unranked in the WBO. So, If he gets through this fight, I'm sure that the Sheikh will push him to get a title fight. But I believe that he should at least fight Hamza Shiraz before he fights any title fight, because Hamza has worked himself up to be the WBC #1 as well as the WBO #1. But with Chris Eubank having his name, he thinks that he can just jump into any title fight whenever he wants because he's Chris Eubanks Jr. He has his name because of his great, fantastic father. We'll see how this goes going forward. I'm not going to say I think he's going to win this fight or lose this fight. I think this is very 50-50 as things go. I've said in this same video that Kamil Zeramata is a very live opponent in this fight. So I'll look forward to the fight. I'll give a more detailed analysis as the fight day approaches. And I'll see you guys in the next video.